You have got to make him a two-point shooter. And again, it's a lot easier said than done because he's a really tough matchup. But his threes kill you.
Louisville a little bit fortunate. That turned out to be a two-pointer. Jones with a little follow away and switch anything. We'll see if Carlik Jones begins to warm up on the drive for
Johnson matched up with Matthew Hurt. That matchup in the second half. It's another turnover by Duke.
Jones slapping it away and slamming it in. Who's been on a late season tear. He's averaging 21 points a game on this 4-game Duke winning streak. 23-19 the Cardinals. Williamson having trouble with that one. Able to save it back to Jones along three, and that one's going to drop in.
Pressure off your defense as well, which for Duke has been significantly better over this 4-game stretch.
And Chris Mack talked about that this week, how Duke's doing such a good job getting in the passing lanes and disrupting, which of course they always seem to do when they have great. To inbound here for Chris Mack. Jones. Rebound tips, and a second effort coming for the Cardinals. On the high post. Back for Stewart. Louisville with the 31-24 advantage, and Jones. Big rebound by Hurt. Here comes Jones pushing the tempo. Jones off the head fake. Loves that move. The rebound will not be tipped. Now this has been a really fine comeback from down 10 at halftime and their lowest first half point total of the season. A quick strike. And 10 rebounds now for Williamson. 6'7" sophomore, and in one.
In fact, he's gotten better as this year has gone on.
Well, he's really a one-man band for long stretches of this game. And a major, he has 25 points. The rest of the team is 25. And he just came up with a great defensive play with a block. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. It may be the game that you look back on in the ACC and say that's the night that Matthew Hurt won the Player of the Year in the conference. Scored their last 11 and another righted the ship, didn't they?
They did, and there was optimism because Malik Williams was back, and obviously he went out of this game with a flare-up of that foot, and they're going to miss him down the stretch.
Yeah, he will not return in this contest. Jones with a pull-up pop off the front iron. Get the second effort out of Withers. He wants to go in strong again and hit on the
4 games. Here they are, and they got a lot of work left to do.
So Louisville with the basketball up by a point. They get it in the hands of Jones, who should see a lot of it here in these last couple of minutes. Carlik Jones. Stopped, flips it up and got it. And up by 1, 64-63. Under a minute to go. Carlik Jones on the spin move. Flips it up again. Not this time. And it's tipped out. And 7 ties, 9 lead changes. Louisville led by 10 at halftime. Jones almost gave it away. Down to 17 seconds. Jones to drive it, flips it up, and a whistle on the play with. Trying to give Louisville the lead. Left it short. Rebound tipped. Loose in the corner as Withers comes away with it. Down to 7 seconds left.
Take the
Tied
last
at
shot.
65. Yep, looking for the last shot. Jones with a fall away. Off target. We're tied at 65. Well, Louisville, after a couple of long COVID pauses, able to get rolling again. They're trying to beat Duke for the second time this season. Jones again off the window. And falling. So Jones to get it in again. Now time beginning to become a factor here as we approach 2 minutes to go in OT. Jones directing traffic. Shot clock to 5. He's going to slice again. The spin won't get him the basket. Loose on the deck.
And a good decision by Stewart to drive that thing there. Everything but the finish.
You got to wonder, the last several minutes, where's Matthew Hurt, who's had a great night? Career scoring night, but he's gone silent. Another very tough drive by game. The pressure again. And now Williamson tries to bring it across midcourt under a minute to go in overtime.
This is where not having David Johnson is big. Not having another ball handler, another guy who can put the ball in the basket.
Johnson is fouled out. Louisville trying to hang on here with 40 seconds to go, up by 3. Carlik Jones wants to shoot it again and gets to
Duke. You got to drive the ball, take it to the basket.
Instead, a long one from three-point land, won't drop for more, and a whistle.
Range, unable to finish the 3, but just like that, gets his own offensive rebound, which was an issue for Chris Mack's group against North Carolina in Chapel Hill. They gave up way too many offensive rebounds. And of course, North Carolina, one of the best offensive rebounding teams. But Chris Mack upset about the fact that they were giving up rebounds on free throw misses, which is a problem for any coach. Flex their muscle on their offensive board. Jawan Durham has come out very aggressive in this game. 2 offensive rebounds for putbacks already for him in the opening 5 minutes of this game. One of the things you and I have talked about is the hangover from Notre Dame. Louisville's loss was so bad, it's one where you basically say throw out the tape. But the hangover for Notre Dame being up 20 and then losing that game at Syracuse, do they feel snake bitten? Do they come out with the approach of, hey, we've got to get rid of that feeling and come out and try to get a win? Or does that linger and cost them another game as Carlik Jones?
But Johnson going airborne. Are they ever delighted to have him back? Missing the last game because of an illness, not COVID related. But Joey Brackett said if Duke wins this tonight against Louisville, they are in the NCAA tournament field.
Yeah, it's a big game. Certainly given the profile of both these programs, Blue Bloods, this may be the most marquee bubble matchup in ACC history.
Trainer getting inside for 2.
David Johnson matched up with Matthew Hurt. That matchup in the second half is another turnover.
Great teams. Duke in this one with 8 assists, 10 field goals. Or again, charging into that lane with the kick out.
Starting to become a factor here is really the main concern. Mike Krzyzewski telling us yesterday how big Louisville is and how well they do on the offensive glass.
Going to go the other way tonight. Dish inside. Withers could not get that one to drop, so Duke with an opportunity now. Down by 6, but under 10 minutes to go. Hurd with the touch, trying to get in tight, banks it in and takes the hit. In recovery, and they continue to lead this one with about 7.5 left. Goldwire back off to Hurd. Shot clock at 7. And he's going to be tied up and draws the foul. 30-point game by a Blue Devil was Vernon Carey in November of 19 at Madison Square Garden. He had 31. And a shove there on the.
Two guys stayed with the ball when Sam Williamson had it. They found the open Slazinski.
Stewart lets fly, left it short. Rebound popped up. And it comes.
I'm telling you what, that is a big time finish over Matthew Hurt.
Now, Matthew Hurt has had a great game. He's had a career high in scoring, but he's been pretty quiet the last several minutes. Duke needs him again. He's calling for the ball here. Williams feeds it to him and inside for two. About to head out on the road. Georgia Tech and North Carolina, and then of course the ACC tournament. Louisville in overtime. 4 out of 5 shooting it, 6 out of 7 at the
other player more than one. Louisville early switching all pick and roll action. Chris Mack trusting his players to defend. It was expected after that layup.
Jones with the kick out, and a long distance shot didn't touch anything, saving it on the baseline. Williams, but back over to the Irish, and here they come with Wirtz getting it off to Ryan. This is one thing Notre Dame does exceptionally well. They move the basketball. They look for each other, passing it very effectively. Good get-back defense here by the Cardinals, though.
Yeah, 100% correct. And when you think about that, that was a great ball movement possession by Notre Dame, but an even better defensive possession by Louisville, not giving up an open look.
Shogo flips it out for the long one, but it's around and out.
Taking advantage of the no call, and the foul actually would have been on him if there was a call made. So I'm pretty sure he's excited about the fact that there was no whistle blown on that possession.
Notre Dame just 4 for 16 shooting it. So they're looking more like the team that let it get away as Syracuse the other day here in the first half against the Cardinals tonight. From way downtown, that one's going to rattle.
Successful if they can get 3 of the 4 going, which doesn't happen often. They've often had 2 of the 4 having, productive evenings, and they can't win with only 2 of their 4 guys playing well on the perimeter. But you can hear Coach Bray basically telling his team, stay with Jones, not allowing Carlik Jones to be the initiator offensively, giving the basketball up, forcing one of his teammates.
Williams lets fly, and right back to the Irish, and a chance to get maybe uncomfortably close for the Louisville Cardinals. Will back it away now for Notre Dame.
Recognizing the mismatch, Juwan Durham with Carlik Jones on his back is able to go finishing. Chance points. Samuel Williamson getting on the glass, finding Carlik Jones for the 3.
Now, Sam Williamson's done a lot of the little things tonight, as that one sails away by Ryan.
Obi, you're talking about a young man that was a McDonald's All-American 2 years ago. Now in his sophomore year, played behind Jordan Moore a lot last season. But you see the ball that he played in his career in North Carolina, which allowed him to become the preseason player of the year this year. He missed the game at Louisville, where Louisville handled the Tar Heels easily. So I'm sure this is a game that Garrison Brooks has had scheduled on his calendar to make sure.
Team to a couple of Final Fours while in Chapel Hill as well. For more Black History Always storytelling content, visit theundefeated.com. And Corey Alexander, I know that Mr. Scott is a friend of yours, and you have a great sense of what it was like.
Interior passing between those 2 guys is always going to be important, especially when it allows you to put more points on the board.
Caleb Love with the basketball to Armando Bacot, who gives it back.
When they make those selections.
Well, think of it this way, Corey. The committee members, they have a binder of player availability information, and typically.
Moses Wright, Jalen Withers to tip it up, and we're underway here inside KFC Young. Alvarado working the point, now down low, trying to get it to Moses Wright. Fumbled it a bit, but Georgia Tech is able to keep possession. Here's DeVoe faking the shot, getting into the paint, putting it up, rattles it around, no good. Battle for the ball, and Withers comes away with the rebound initially. Came into this game with 38 steals on the year. Adds another one there. Moore wide open from the corner. Can't find the bucket.
Play is not made there. I mean, that's a layup that Wisnitzer's got to hit. I mean, you got to go to score that thing, but teams are making that calculation. We are not going to let Carlik Jones or David Johnson